Understand this truth. The mind is the gateway through which all riches, all success, all joy must pass. It is the origin of every triumph and the battlefield of every defeat. You do not rise by luck, you rise by decision. The individual who truly decides that they will not be denied cannot be stopped. That's not romantic theory, that's a law. When you back your desire with absolute belief, with the refusal to quit, with a certainty that you were made for more, doors open, people appear, resources shift. Why? Because the world bends to those who walk with intention, not hesitation. You've seen it before. A person walks into a room and says very little, yet the room grows still. Not because of their words, but their presence. You've watched someone climb to the top of a mountain others feared to even approach, and if you asked them how they did it, they wouldn't hand you a list of perfect circumstances or a cheat code from the universe. They would tell you they acted like they were meant to be there. They spoke like it, walked like it, thought like it, long before any evidence appeared. Faith is not the product of proof, it is the catalyst for it. If you wait for all lights to turn green before leaving the driveway, you'll never move. The great achievers of this world didn't wait for guarantees, they declared their place. They didn't whisper their ambitions in the dark. They announced them with boldness, not arrogance, because their conviction was stronger than their fear. And when doubt crept in, as it always does, they answered it with action. Because action silences doubt better than any mantra ever could. There are people who will say to you, be realistic. They mean well, but they are prisoners of a vision too small. Realism is the enemy of greatness when it is used as a disguise for fear. Do not inherit the limitations of others. You have your own path to blaze, and on that path you will be tested. You will stumble, but winners do not interpret failure as final. They see it as feedback, a lesson, a sharpening, and they never lose sight of the vision because they carry it within them at all times. Think of this. Every building, every book, every invention, every movement that has ever changed the world began as a thought. Just a thought. Someone dared to believe in what was not yet seen. They acted on faith, disciplined their minds, and refused to surrender to doubt. If they had waited for perfect conditions, you would never have heard their names, but they decided that victory was not something to chase. It was something they were born to claim. And so must you. The one who acts like they were meant to win does not shrink themselves to fit the comfort zones of others. They speak their truth. They claim their space. They honor their gift, not out of pride, but out of responsibility. The gifts you were given were not meant to be buried under insecurity. They were meant to serve the world. And your only job is to develop them, use them, and protect them from the voices, both inside and out, that tell you you're not ready, not worthy, not capable. You are ready the moment you decide to be. The idea that someone else has to choose you, validate you, approve you, is a myth. The truth is, the moment you choose yourself, the moment you stop asking for permission to succeed, you begin to tap into that infinite source of inner power. That's when things start to change. That's when momentum finds you. Because life respects the bold. It opens doors for those who knock with certainty. It rewards those who act in alignment with purpose, not fear. Make no mistake, victory is a habit. And like any habit, it is cultivated through repetition, intention, and belief. You must wake up each day and reaffirm who you are and where you're going. You must carry the image of your ideal self in your mind so clearly that it becomes more real than your current circumstances. Speak the words of success. Walk with the posture of destiny. Conduct your affairs with the excellence of someone who knows the crown already belongs to them, even if it hasn't yet been placed on their head. This is not delusion. This is identity. And identity is stronger than motivation. Identity shapes behavior. When you identify as a winner, you act like one. When you see yourself as a person of power, you do not tolerate the habits of weakness. You do not entertain mediocrity. You do not allow procrastination to dominate your days. You show up. You do the work. You discipline your thoughts. You train your emotion. You surround yourself with people who reinforce your vision, not dilute it. Every second spent doubting your worth is a second stolen from your destiny. Every time you hesitate to act, someone else moves ahead, not because they're more talented, but because they believed first. You don't have to be the most qualified. You don't need the perfect resume. You only need the courage to begin and the persistence to continue. Universe responds to energy. It reflects back to you what you consistently project. And when you walk like you were meant to win, life starts to treat you accordingly. Some will misunderstand you. They'll call you arrogant, intense, obsessed. Let them. The lion does not apologize to the sheep for roaring. You were not born to blend in. You were born to rise, to stand out, to lead, not through empty talk, but through demonstrated power, the kind that comes from aligning thought, word, and action, the kind that comes from knowing who you are, what you want, and why it matters. Do not chase approval. Do not lower your standards to be liked. Do not compromise your vision to avoid discomfort. Your success was never supposed to be convenient. It is supposed to challenge you, stretch you, forge you into someone worthy of holding it. And that means you must be willing to be uncomfortable, to risk, to fail, to rise again. Because the one who acts like they were meant to win knows that nothing great comes without cost, but that every sacrifice is worth the reward. This world has never been changed by passive observers. It has always been shaped by those who dared to believe in something bigger than their doubts. And when you choose to step into that arena, fully committed, fully certain, you summon a force beyond logic. You activate your inner power. And that power is contagious. It draws opportunities, connections, breakthroughs. It magnetizes what you need and repels what no longer serves you. So now the question is not whether you are capable. The question is whether you are willing to think differently, to speak boldly, to walk in the authority of someone who knows they were built for more. Your greatest battle will never be against the world. It will be against the voice inside that tells you to stay small. That is the voice of fear, and fear has only one antidote: action. Action aligned with belief. Action rooted in purpose. Action that flows not from desperation, but from the unshakable knowing that you were not put here to live an average life. You were put here to lead, to create, to inspire. By your example, by your discipline, by your unwavering belief in yourself and your mission, act like you were meant to win, because you were. You were meant to rise from every setback with more fire. You were meant to walk through storms and come out shining. You were meant to be a force, not a follower of trends, but a setter of standards. You were meant to stand firm when others fold, to believe when others doubt, to move when others wait. And that requires courage. That requires resilience. That requires you to become the kind of person who no longer negotiates with fear, who no longer asks for permission to be great. There is no one coming to save you. There is no secret shortcut. But there is a power within you that is more than enough. Tap into it, live from it, and carry yourself like someone who is chosen, not by chance, but by purpose. Every step you take it with the posture of destiny. Every room you enter, do so with the presence of a leader. Every challenge you face it like a champion who already knows the outcome. This is not about pretending. It is about remembering who you are, why you're here, and what you're made of. You are not weak. You are not average. You are not a victim of fate. You are a creator of destiny. So rise, claim your vision, declare your standards, show up in full, and act not like you hope to win, but like you were meant to. Because you were. You were meant to rise from every setback with more fire. You were meant to walk through storms and come out shining. You were meant to be a force, not a follower of trends, but a setter of standards. You were meant to stand firm when others fold, to believe when others doubt, to move when others wait. And that requires courage. That requires resilience. That requires you to become the kind of person who no longer negotiates with fear, who no longer asks for permission to be great. There is no one coming to save you. There is no secret shortcut. But there is a power within you that is more than enough. Tap into it, live from it, and carry yourself like someone who was chosen, not by chance, but by purpose. Every step you take it with the posture of destiny. Every room you enter, do so with the presence of a leader. Every challenge you face it like a champion who already knows the outcome. This is not about pretending. It is about remembering who you are, why you're here, and what you're made of. You are not weak. You are not average. You are not a victim of fate. You are a creator of destiny. So rise, claim your vision, declare your standard, show up in full, and act not like you hope to win, but like you were meant to. And since you were meant to win, you must now take on the habits, the discipline, and the mindset of someone who lives and breathes victory. This is not something you do occasionally when the mood strikes or when circumstances are favorable. This is something you become. Winning is not an event. It is a way of being. It is embedded into the way you wake up, the way you speak, the way you work, the way you carry yourself when no one is watching. It is found in the unseen moments, in the quiet decisions that no one applauds, but that build the character of a champion. You do not become excellent by accident. You become excellent through 1,000 silent choices made with intention and self-respect. The world does not give you what you want. It gives you what you demand through your behavior. That behavior must reflect your belief in yourself so deeply that others begin to believe in you too, not because of charisma, but because of consistency. You must be so aligned with your vision that nothing can pull you off course. Not rejection, not fatigue, not the opinions of others, not even your own self-doubt. You must become immovable in your purpose, fluid in your methods, and relentless in your pursuit. Because when you act like you were meant to win, your every action becomes a seed planted for your inevitable success. The individual who understands this truth no longer worries about how long the journey will take. They are not asking how fast can I succeed, but rather how deep can I root myself so I will never fall again. They understand that real success is not built in a day, it is built daily. It is not loud, flashy, or desperate. It is patient, unshakable, and precise. It knows that timing is often a test, and those who rush the process forfeit the power. The person who was meant to win trusts the process. They embrace the climb. They fall in love with the discipline of growth. Because they know that every hardship is a stepping stone, every delay a lesson, every failure a sharpening, they do not curse the struggle, they bless it. Because it's not breaking them, it's building them. You must decide now that your name will not be forgotten, not because you crave attention, but because you committed to becoming someone whose life ripples out into the lives of others. You must decide now that your story will not end in almost, but in fulfillment. And this will require sacrifice. There is no greatness without giving something up. You must be willing to let go of distractions, of old habits, of small thinking. You cannot hold on to comfort and rise into power at the same time. You must choose. And when you choose, choose boldly. Do not tiptoe toward greatness. Charge at it. Do not beg for opportunity. Create it. Do not wait to be chosen. Declare yourself ready. This declaration is not made once. It is made daily through action, through repetition, through discipline. You train your mind like an athlete trains their body, daily, rigorously, and with intention. You protect your focus like a priceless treasure, because it is. Where your focus goes, your life follows. So you do not give your energy to negativity, to gossip, to comparison. You do not waste your mental real estate on people who don't see your value. You do not rent space in your head to doubt. You take control of your attention. You direct your thoughts like a master sculptor, because you know whatever you feed grows. So you feed strength. You feed clarity. You feed progress. And every single day you ask yourself, am I living in alignment with the person I say I want to become? Because that question will keep you honest. That question will cut through excuses. It will remind you that dreams are not something you chase at night. They are something you pursue in the daylight through choices that demand grit, courage, and resilience. When you were meant to win, you act like it, not only when you're winning, but especially when you're not. You do not disappear in the storm. You rise in it. You do not fold when things get hard. You sharpen. You do not let one bad moment define you. You rise above it, again and again and again, because winning is not a one-time event. It is a series of internal victories strung together by persistence and belief. Let others quit. Let others wait. Let others ask, what if it doesn't work? You ask, what if it does? Let others fear embarrassment. You fear regret. Let others follow the crowd. You follow your calling. Let others mock your ambition. You let your results speak, because you know the only thing more dangerous than failure is living beneath your potential. You know that comfort zones are graveyards for dreams. So you step into discomfort willingly. You stretch yourself intentionally. You keep growing not because you are not enough now, but because there is always more within you to reveal. You grow because you are too powerful to remain the same. You grow because you were not designed to settle. You were designed to soar. And that soaring begins not with grand gestures, but with consistent intention. It begins in how you spend your mornings, how you speak about yourself, how you treat others, how you carry yourself when no one is watching. Winning begins long before the spotlight. It begins in private, in discipline, in unseen effort. It begins in how you recover after defeat, how you breathe through fear, how you move forward despite doubt. It begins in your refusal to quit, in your daily choice to believe again. There will be days when nothing seems to be working, when progress is invisible, when results are delayed. On those days, you remind yourself who you are. You remind yourself that the vision is still alive, even if the path feels dark. You remind yourself that this too shall pass. You do not break down. You break through. Because the one who is meant to win knows that patience is not passive, it is powerful. It says, I will keep building even when the world is silent. I will keep showing up even when no one applauds. I will keep rising because I am not done yet. Every moment you are given a choice, to act like the winner you were born to be or to shrink back into a version of yourself that no longer serves your future. And that choice, made over and over, becomes your destiny. So choose power, choose action, choose growth, choose belief. Choose to show the world what happens when someone stops waiting to be ready and starts acting like they were meant to win. The world has seen enough doubt, enough hesitation, enough excuses. What it needs is your example. The world is waiting for someone who chooses to live with conviction, someone who does not apologize for their fire, someone who walks in integrity, speaks with clarity, and moves with intention. That someone is you. It must be you, because you are not like everyone else. You are here to thrive. You are not here to blend in. You are here to lead. You are not here to repeat history. You are here to make it. So, stand tall, speak boldly, walk forward. Let your actions scream your belief. Let your effort speak your confidence. Let your life be the evidence. Because when you act like you were meant to win, you do more than change your life. You ignite others. You set a new standard. You remind the world of what is possible when one person dares to live at full power. Answer now, because the time is now, and you were meant to win. And in the end, you won't just have achieved success, you will have become the kind of person who cannot be denied, the kind of person who doesn't hope for victory, but embodies it, the kind of person who walks into every challenge with the quiet knowing that all of this was meant for them. That the vision, the fire, the dream, the journey, it's not random, it's a calling. And the one who is called must answer with their life. Answer now, because the time is now. And you were meant to win.